Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Everything is going well. Let me fix this camera here. It is Tuesday. Guys, like a day before, 2 days before the first. Um, wow, this year has gone by so quickly. How are you guys doing? Are you guys off? Are you working? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you enjoying your time off? I know I am. Getting the necessary rest, going to the gym, taking care of myself, and just enjoying the time off, guys. Even though I have a little bit of allergies going on, I'm going to be going to the doctor to see if I can find something that helps with this. Um, but everything's good. And I hope you guys are really benefiting from these messages and that it's helping you. Because I know as I continue to not only show up here, but to take care of myself, I feel better. And as you feel better, you do better. That's the key factor here. And I always have some music, like some soft instrumental music playing in the background, because it sets the mood. Because with everything going on in this world that's on a chaotic right now, as you can see, it's playing out with chaos and drama, everything negative. So we need to keep our space um, peaceful, calm, with tranquility as we exit out the noise. So, guys, with that being said, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker, I'm not a counselor, just someone who speaks from a space of his experience, personal experience, of things that nobody should really have to go through. And some people, the things I've gone through, some people can't even deal with it. But because of God, I'm still here and I've learned lessons that I will not repeat. And I learned how to be an overcomer instead of succumbing to those trials and tribulations. And whatever I say on these videos, I'm hoping that it resonates with someone, because if you're currently going through any of the situations that I mentioned here today or in the past or in the future, perhaps some of the things that I say, um, the things that I say here that I use or utilize to overcome those trials and tribulations, perhaps it can help you as well. And with that being said, let's get into this title, this topic of discussion. And let's keep this music going as well, because it sets the mood. Um, I always look for things, to create an atmosphere of tranquility. So the title is Learning to Leave the Past Behind Us. Learning to leave the past behind us. You may already be asking yourself, what does that mean, right? When you start to heal, grow, and choose yourself so that you can stay in a place of healing and growth, many others will remind you of the old version of yourself, like in my case. Not that I was a bad person or mean or bad to others. That's not the case. I was always an overgiver, giving too much of my time, energy, and you know, um, if people needed loans or whatever, doing things that while neglecting my own personal needs and things that I needed to take care of. And I've learned, from early on that that is what I'm supposed to do, because I grew up in a organized religious cult setting that taught me, well, you put yourself on the back burner and you put the needs and wants of everybody else. But yet, when I did that, I wasn't fulfilled because I had more problems than I know what to do with, because everything that I needed to do for me was being neglected because I was being subservient to people carrying their burdens, weights, and everything else. And so it took me a long time to heal. I started this healing process in 2020, and it took me from then to now to see what I needed to correct in my life so that I can live my life to the fullest instead of being subservient to other people. So that old version of myself doesn't exist. I'm still helping people, take time out to talk to them, to help people grow, heal, and evolve, and to help them in other ways if necessary, but I'm not an overgiver. And when I need time for myself, downtime, I'm making sure that I do that regardless of how other people feel about it. And that's why it's important to set those boundaries. Because with, like I say to you guys here on these videos, if you are not okay, you can't take care of yourself or anybody else or anything around you. So make yourself a priority, especially when it comes to healing, growing, and evolving, and taking care of your mental health. That should always be a priority, regardless of who think they have a right to question that. The version of myself, the old version, was afraid to heal, afraid to do anything different, and I had to heal all of that. So sometimes people get used to who you used to be, the version that was afraid to heal, the version who was afraid to be yourself, the version that was afraid to tell other people no. In my case, yes, always being afraid to tell people no because they may leave my life. And I didn't have a whole lot of people as it was. So these are some of the reasons why I was afraid to say no. The past does not recognize the new you because you're not the same anymore as you heal and do the work to grow. Some people will love the new version of you and say bravo, congratulate you, and help you and motivate you to keep staying on that path, while others will rate and hate you. They will hate the new version of you. Why? Why? Because you're not doing anything wrong. In fact, you're enhancing and improving yourself. It's because when you heal and grow, they can no longer manipulate or control you as they were able to do in the past. They can't do that anymore because this new version of you is different. It's not the same. So people get angry when they can't use you or manipulate you anymore. You're not a doormat to them. You're not easily accessible to them or ATM machine to them. They get upset about that because they can't control, manipulate, or use you anymore. That version of yourself no longer exists. When you heal and grow, your new self becomes unrecognizable to the past. When you heal and grow, your old self become unrecognizable to who the new you is, who you are. We no longer accept the chaos, the drama, and the toxicity because those things weigh heavily on you and it takes a toll on your physical and mental health. That's why I'm always emphasizing the need to take care of your physical and mental health, because without that you can't take care of yourself or anything else around you, and those things will destroy your mental health. We set strong boundaries because our peace is priceless. I know to me, it took me a long time to acquire this inner peace where I'm unbothered by the noise around me. Even when people try to pull me into negative situations, I just go into prayer. Stand still, go into prayer. Sometimes 2 and 3 days with God, but God answers my prayers because of the vows I made and the vows I keep and the things I do to help others besides helping myself, staying on this path. And he does answer my prayers, and I've been seeing that, and I'm so grateful, and I stay in a place of gratitude. But when we set boundaries, it's important, because when we set those boundaries, we set them because our peace and growth is priceless. Because you would never want to do all this work and be at a place of inner peace, and then here comes some drama starter or some, negativity outside your door, and you engage in that and you get all fired up because of it, then all the growth you've done in healing on yourself, you jeopardize it, and it's not worth it. Your peace and growth should always be priceless to you, and you should do everything in your power to protect it. Sometimes when we heal, we have to leave some of the past individuals in the past behind us, because they bring the drama, the chaos, the noise, and all the negativity. And those things will affect our peace that we work so hard to acquire. I have a few notes here, guys. But it's important. It's important to protect your peace, from these individuals. And sometimes even when you set those boundaries with these type of individuals, they don't like it. They hate it. And they will try to overstep those boundaries. Not just overstep them, but tell you they have a right to do that. Because these type of folks at some point may feel entitled to your life, and you're no longer that same individual anymore, because in the past they were able to do whenever, however, but now this new version of yourself is different, but they still feel like they have a right to overstep those boundaries. So once you set boundaries and remove the toxicity from your life, you feel free. I know in my case, I'm talking about this when it comes to the toxicity and the overstepping boundaries, because that's what was happening to me. Girl, sit down, shut up kind of attitude, the disrespect, the dismissal of the boundaries that I put in place, overstepping them. Some folks laughing at it. Oh, she's crazy, or whatever they want to say. But what I had to do is reiterate those boundaries. And when people will dismiss them, then I cut off, block, and delete. And there's no more conversation, there's no argument, there's no drama. Just cut off, block, and delete. Because my peace, my inner peace, my growth is priceless to me. It's not negotiable. And that's how everyone should feel as you start to feel better. Because you feel better, you do better. Because as you feel better, you're taking care of your physical and mental health. And as you do that, you're able to take care of other things in your life that are just as important. Do not let anyone drag you down to the bottom of the barrel. Do not allow their drama to ignite a fire in you. Because if you allow that, then all the work you've done, it's jeopardized. So no more drama and no more chaos. Your boundaries and silence bring peace. Because when I see that some folks will try to engage me into some, I call BS, toxicity, drama, what I do is stay silent. I don't help them to ignite that fire. I diffuse it. Because when have you guys ever been around folks who just like to start arguments because they're miserable and they like to drag people in that? Be careful of that and watch and observe. What I do is just give my silence to it, stare at them, walk away. And they can't continue in that, igniting that fire, because you didn't participate in it. You walked away. And that's hard to do, because it takes a lot of self-discipline to get to that point to do that. And I know that I've grown and healed in so many ways, because I wasn't able to do those things before. I would get mad, guys, and be, and I would participate in it. And all of the work I've done is now in jeopardy because I'm focused on the wrong thing. So what I do, let them do whatever, let them. Just walk away from it. Unless it's something, of course, that's going to affect, your life or something like that, then you have to reach out and do what's necessary under those circumstances. But just somebody who's trying to get a negative reaction out of you, never allow that. Just walk away from it. That's the way you diffuse the fire instead of igniting it. Your silence is diffusing the confusion and chaos, because you simply refuse to participate in the negativity. Stand your ground, stay in prayer, and trust God. That's what I do a lot. And people may look at you, there's something wrong with you because you're different. You march to a different beat of the drum. In my case, I have always marched to a different beat of the drum from the time that I can walk and talk. People were, just being miserable to me. Let me just put it in that way. But as I heal and grow, I know who can be in my life and who can't, you know. And then the people who created so much chaos and drama, you know, you have to set boundaries, and sometimes they don't respect it. Then I have to just cut off, block, and delete. And as I close those doors and give those burdens to God, He does the rest, you know, as I continue to move forward. Remember, guys, nothing ventured is nothing gained. And always protect your peace and mental health. And as those doors close, you know, sometimes we get sad because some of these people are family, we share DNA, or, you know, significant others, whatever it is. But if it's going to affect our peace, sometimes, you know, we have to close doors when people overstep our boundaries so that we can stay in a place of peace and healing. And as you close those doors, you know, in my case, what I've seen so far is that God opened up new doors. And those new doors that He opened up with better people and better circumstances and situations. For the first time in a long time, this Christmas has been amazing for me, you know, because I've gone through so much hell and pain for far so long. And God has opened up so many new doors. And I show a lot of gratitude to Him because of it. So always protect your peace and mental health. You'll be glad that you did, guys. You know, as you continue to stay on this path, you will acquire inner peace. You know, peace as you set boundaries, choose yourself, and leave the past behind you. Sometimes it's necessary, you know. And let's keep this moving forward. As I always say at the end of these videos, guys, it is better to be at a place of peace instead of broken down into pieces. Keep moving forward. Keep taking care of yourself. And, you know, God will open up those new doors and bless you beyond everything that you can think of. I know, you know, as I continue to move forward, God has opened up so many new doors and blessings. So guys, keep moving forward, taking care of yourself, and never give up on you, because you are worth it. That's the message today. Please go out, share these messages with other people. Before I leave today, I want to say to you guys that that's important, because everyone is not the same. And some people who may be going through trials, tribulations, and challenges, they don't always communicate what's going on in their life. Some people do, others don't. They hold it in. And sometimes they don't know or don't feel comfortable communicating with other folks. So sometimes, you know, this is why it's so good that we have YouTube and channels like this, because they can come and hear and listen to the message and benefit from it, and to know that they're not alone in these things, that there are other ways to do things to benefit them and help them to grow, heal, and evolve. So please subscribe to the channel, invite others here, and ask them to do the same, because each day the message may be a little different, but it's always connected with healing and growth, so that we can be our best selves. And also, guys, before you leave, at the end of this video will be some links. Please take a look at those links. You know, there's some things there that I use to help with anxiety, etc., and so forth. So take a look and see if it will be beneficial for you. And thank you again for being here. I will be back tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel, because I don't know what time, but I will be showing up for you guys. And enjoy your day. Take care of yourselves until then. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.